All right, Michigan fans, the internet is going nuts, but also not at all. Did we just have a catastrophic major injury for the Michigan Wolverines and their season? Is this a precautionary measure? Is this even real? How do we even know these days? Like, what is real? What's precautionary? What does health look like? We've got to talk about this injury, what it means going forward for the Michigan Wolverines, and Justice Haynes, our Heisman candidate running back. If this dude can stay healthy, some seriously good things could happen. We just need him to stay healthy. But why I'm not worried about it against Purdue, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a couple of other things, and we're going to get into it. But first, let's show you the picture. All right. And if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. This is the picture that's going around. And by the way, for a picture that's so widely spread and all the beat reporters and stuff are talking about how crazy this is, it was really hard for me to find. And maybe I'm just getting old, right? You know, I'm almost 40 here, and maybe I'm just getting old. And it's just like, hey, you can't find stuff as easy anymore. And yep, that's probably part of it. I don't have any social media on my phone. I got away from all that. Was wasting too much time, if I can be honest. So anyways, here's what we got. We got Justice Haynes in a walking boot. Looks like he's sitting here talking to a class full of kids, if I can be honest. So I don't know when this picture was taken. Everybody says that this is right after the game, so that did he injure his foot either during the game against Michigan State, or did he possibly hurt it in a practice afterward? If you go and run down everywhere, the Wolverine.com is reporting that Sharon Moore on Michigan running back Justice Haynes' injury status. The standard Sharon Moore response is, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he looks like as he goes through the week. Has Sharon Moore ever answered an injury question with any other response other than, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he looks like as he goes through the week? Nobody knows what's going on. And I've talked about this on this channel before. This is just the way it is. Get used to it. Here's what I do know. With a walking boot that is that high, all right, that is that high. I mean, look at this thing. It goes almost to his knee. All right, this can be used as precautionary for a lot of different things. This could be used for a foot sprain. This could be used for a broken foot. It could. This could be used for shin splints. This could be used for plantar fasciitis, right? Like, this could be used for a lot of things. Again, I'm not a doctor, but if I zoom in on this picture, this dude has some flat feet. Look at that. All right? Who are my flat feet people out there? You know, if you are a flat-footed fiend, all right, plantar fasciitis is a real thing, and that could be it. Maybe they're just trying to unflare a spot that he has, and it's something that he's been dealing with. Now, again, I want to go back, and we're going to move on to Keys against Purdue and why I'm not worried against Purdue, who is not yet to have a victory. All right, they're coming into a night game against Michigan. It's a night game. We're wearing the all-blue uniforms. All right, personally, I like when we wear the maize pants. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it, but I'm good with the all-blues. It's not a game that's going to be easy for them to win, and we have a defense that's clicking on all cylinders. Yes, we're very, very injured right now, but the talent level is still significantly higher for Michigan. But as we talk about this with Justice Haynes, if it's a serious thing, I don't think Sharon Moore, yeah, I know he says this with everything, which is we'll see how he goes throughout the week. If the dude broke his foot, is Sharon Moore saying we'll see how he does throughout the week? No. If he has a foot sprain that could keep him out from anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks, would Sharon Moore say, let's see how he does throughout the week? Yeah, probably. If he has shin splints, yeah. If he has plantar fasciitis, yeah. Like, those are all the things where it's like, hey, we're going to see. And why we're going to see how he does throughout the week is because we play Purdue, then we're off. We play Purdue, and then we're off, right? And so that, I believe, is one of the reasons that I am not as worried, if I can be completely honest, about this injury. Again, when you look at our schedule here, we have Purdue, then there's an off week, and then Northwestern. There's 14 days in between. We don't play Ohio State until the 29th. So, yes, you want Justice Haynes back for all of these games because you want him, I think, against Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland, dude could run for a combined 400 yards plus, and probably 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. So you want him back because you want him in the Heisman talk going into Ohio State. But what you really need is him healthy by Ohio State. All right? We have a backup running back, and his name is Jordan Marshall. Right? And that is a guy that I trust. When you look at our depth chart, Jordan Marshall has proven that he is a starting caliber running back. He has. When you look at the game against Alabama, when you look at the game that he played, all right, when you take into account, especially after he got rolling against Washington, not a bad team, he ran for 133 yards. That's a good defense at Washington. It's not a bad defense. All right, he played well. He went for over 100 yards against Michigan State in less carries. He is fine. He will be just fine against Purdue. In fact, I'm telling you, if he needs to be the bell cow and get 25 carries a game against Purdue, Northwestern, and Maryland, I don't think it greatly reduces our chances of winning. All right, maybe a % or 2 over what Justice Haynes does because, and that's not saying that Justice Haynes isn't a fantastic running back. That's simply saying that Jordan Marshall is also a fantastic running back. I also think there's a dude with a little more juice in the tank that we think, and that is a man by the name of Jasper Parker. All right, this is a true freshman running back. When he did not get any run really against Washington, but when we played against Michigan State, the third running back that got a few carries was Jasper Parker, and he looked much better than Cusdahl, all right, or how I think that's how you say it, right? Bryson Cusdahl, and it's hard to pronounce. It's just a weird word for me personally. So anyways, or a weird name for me. But I still think we will be fine, all right? And when we go up against Purdue, here are the things that I want you to look for. All right, Purdue's run game is the one thing, and Purdue's interesting. I've told you they've passed more than they've run, but their run game has actually been good. They're averaging over 5 yards per carry in conference. So this is against Big Ten opponents. Make it less effective. All right, make it less effective so you don't put as much pressure on the young linebackers where they have to really try and read and react. Like, hey, play action is much more effective on 2nd and 3 than it is on 2nd and 13. That's all I'm saying, or 2nd and 8. So those are the type of things that we have to do. We need to be good on 3rd down. All right, Michigan's at 40%, Purdue's at 39%. All right, both of them had a similar amount of attempts on 3rd down. Those are around average. Put ourselves in a better position. We should be able to run the ball at a pretty good clip and put ourselves in 3rd and shorts. Let's do that. And then Purdue has a weak secondary. So even if Justice Haynes misses this game, this is a great game for our boy Bryce Underwood to kind of let it rip. All right, if I'm going to be honest. Now, it's not going to be warm. It's not going to be warm because it's a night game in November, but it's also not going to be remarkably cold. It's not going to be colder than it was against Michigan State. So anyways, there you go. Those are the keys. I'm okay with it. Let's see if we can figure out more information on Justice Haynes before we freak out, which we probably won't be able to. But if he suits up, like, at all, like, it's not serious. But if he doesn't, let's not worry about that thing until Northwestern or Maryland. Okay? Let's not worry about it. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.